right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 676 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. Now, Georgia Southern has a bye this week, so you may not hear much about Georgia Southern this week. I mean, a phenomenal game against Coastal. Great setting that Saturday night at Paulson Stadium. Gotta love it. I mean, I highly recommend you go back and check out that game. You can find it on YouTube. It's very easy to find. Shout out to Captain Clack. But we're going to talk about this is going to be a very opinionated show. So you can go ahead and get mad if you disagree. It's an opinion. Everybody has one. But if you agree, it's cool either way. But I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions of what I think the type of quarterback Desmond Ridder is. I believe at this point, and I know this is where it's going to go downhill, but I believe at this point, I know what type of quarterback he is. And yes, it's only been 8 games, but I want you guys to hear me out and give me all the, criticism and the agreements that you have, because I think I kind of got it at this point. I think so. If this is your first time here, welcome. I could be found on YouTube and Rumble. I am also on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. The podcast side of things is just growing like crazy. I mean, since this season started, you guys have almost quadrupled. I think it was like 5 times the listenership is over there, based on what it was prior to the season start. And I hope that continues. I can't thank you guys enough. New subscribers over here on YouTube is also great. I thank you guys for subscribing, sharing the podcast, and letting people know what we do over here, because I love giving my teams praises. I love giving my teams praises. I love giving them props when it's due. But sometimes it's tough to actually be, tough when need be, because you love your teams that much. But we got to be honest. I think Desmond Ridder is a smart quarterback. I think Desmond Ridder is fairly talented. I don't think that his delivery and mechanics, footwork, I don't think there's no problem with any of that. I think he's legitimately a good quarterback. I will say that he's a good quarterback. Has he made mistakes? He's made a lot of them. But I think there's a ceiling with what we have here. Now, I want to be wrong, because I've seen Josh Allen, and I'm going to make this quick comparison. I'm not going to hang my hat on it, but I've seen Josh Allen make worse plays than Desmond Ridder. I mean, his first 2 years, Josh Allen was abysmal with some of the plays, some of the throws he made, but he's turned into a very good quarterback for Buffalo. Do I see that in Desmond Ridder? And right now, I don't. Will that happen? I mean, hey, the sky's the limit. But personally, my gut feeling, I said this this weekend, but I'm going to tweak it a little bit. I said that he was an average to below average quarterback. I want to be wrong, because I think he's a good quarterback, but my gut feeling is I think he's an average to below average quarterback. I hate to be that way, but I'm not sure if his ceiling is going to get any higher than what we see. And the reason why I say that, the reason why, and I hate to really say this, but the reason why I say that is not just because of the 8 games. He's been studying, and maybe it is because Marcus Mariota and Coach Arthur Smith, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. He's been studying behind Marcus Mariota and Coach Arthur Smith and David Ragone, the quarterback coach. I forgot his name. I think his name was London as well, but he left. And they basically, put it out there that they were teaching him the ropes on how to be a quarterback in the system. I've done a live stream on this channel about the question, the question and answer of the quarterback coach, talking about how much they praised the thought process and all the things he's taken in prior to him playing the 4 games of last year. Now, if this was just 8 games off the rip, just coming out of college, I can't say what I say, but he's been in the system. No, he hasn't played, but he's been in the system all this time, a whole year, and he's played 8 games. The quarterback position is a mental game. And it doesn't help. I will be remiss. I'll tell you, it doesn't help that the man's been sacked 16 times this year. It doesn't help that the offensive line has been helping, has a lack of help in the passing game. It doesn't help that some receivers have not been getting open. It doesn't help that he's been staring down receivers. It doesn't help that the quarterback, not the quarterback coach, but the head coach has been calling kind of like terrible plays. It doesn't help. So it's not all on him. But what I will say is all of that collectively is the reason why he may be slightly above what you see here. Now, I'm going to give you the numbers. He may get slightly better. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but I don't think that the expectations that some people have where he can be a top 10 quarterback, maybe top 5 quarterback. I know there are some people who had that kind of expectation. I don't think that's going to happen. Now, as of right now, his numbers are very identical from last year. The last 4 games he played in last season, he was 73 of 15, 708 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. This year, he's 74 of 119, 744 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And 2 of those interceptions were in the last game against Jaguars. Now, the outlier here, he's been sacked 16 times in 4 games. He's been averaged 4 times a game that he's been sacked. I mean, you're not going to be able to be successful when your O-line cannot block for you. You're not going to be successful if you stare down receivers. You're not going to be successful if some receivers can't get open. And shout out to, I guess you could say Drake London, and in some cases, not in some cases, most of the cases, Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins has been getting open for this guy. And he's been completing passes to him. But that one that he missed and made Mac Hollins yell at him, it sent the message that, look, you got to step this up. You got to understand, Mac Hollins is in the last, he's only on a 1-year deal. So he needs all he can get. He needs every ball that comes his way. He needs to be able to catch it or give him opportunity to. And that underthrow, I can understand it. You're playing with people money. You know what I mean? Indirectly, obviously, he's not deliberately doing it, but you playing with people money. So this is what I'm saying here. I like Desmond Ridder. I do a lot. But I think he's going to be, I want him to be a solid QB that's really going to be in that top, 12, top 10 quarterback range. Right now, I don't see it. I want him to prove me wrong, but I don't see it. And the only reason why I say this, like I said, is because he's been in this system for a year prior to playing these 8 games. I don't have a problem with being wrong, but that's just my gut feeling. I mean, heck, I feel like I'm entitled to that, right? His QBR is 29.2 for the season. It doesn't say what it is for the career, but last year it was 52. This year's 29.2. Yes, he's only played 4 games. He only played 8 games. I'm not going to hold just the collective of 8 games against him. But when you've been in this system for, 13 games prior to those 8 games, these guys groomed you and they gave you all the tools to be successful in this system. And you're just right there. You're not, I ain't gonna say you're a failure. I don't think you're a failure. I don't think he's a failed quarterback, but he's just right there. And it's hard to say that he's going to grow from this. I don't know. I'm going to be quite honest. I don't know if he's going to grow and get better. I don't know. I think if he does, I think it'll be a slight improvement to where, I don't know. I think he'll be a slight improvement. And I hate to say that. But like I said, I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be like a bad thing where he can't be a quarterback in the league. I think he could be a quarterback in this league. It's just that, like I said, if this was just the first 8 games and he just came straight out of college, I wouldn't feel this way. But you've been sitting, and like I said, I think it could have been a detriment to the situation behind Mariota. It could be a detriment because of Coach Arthur Smith it's just not it. The play call is not it. You put a run first offensive line in front of him, that stunts his growth as well. So it's not just, it's all these things collectively that could be like detrimental to what he needs to be a top tier quarterback. And if it stays this way, you're going to see a slight improvement, and that's it. I think he'll be, like right now, I say he's going to be an average to below average. I think he'll be at best maybe above average, maybe good. And I want him to be at the very best a good quarterback that can complete passes when needed. I want him to be able to improvise when needed. I don't need him to be an Aaron Rodgers or I don't need him to be a Patrick Mahomes. I don't need him to be any of those type of quarterbacks. I just want him to make good decisions and be who he can be. But maybe the personnel, not on the field, because I think, and that's another thing. I think the team on the field is actually extremely talented. We got some extremely talented players around him. So I'm sitting here like saying, how far can he really go with this? I think it's an honest question, because we can say, oh, he just played 8 games. Yeah, that's very true. He's only played 8 games. But I'm looking at the collective from him learning the system 13 games prior to that. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, and that's fine. I'll get blasted for being wrong. I want to be proven wrong because I want my quarterback to be great. But deep down, right now, after him being a rookie and him going through, 2 preseasons, going through, these 8 games, I don't know, man. I don't know. Now, what needs to be done for him to improve? I think one of the main things that need to be done for him to improve is basically he needs more protection. He gets more protection by the offensive line, and he can stand there for a little bit longer. I think he will get better. He'll see the field better. And honestly, I think that's basically it. He needs time, because some of that staring down is because he knows that he doesn't have much time in the pocket. Some of that stuff is basically because the play calling isn't the best. I do like the fact that they're taking shots downfield. They're not just handcuffing the kid. I do like that. And he's done pretty well. Man, I think I'm probably about to lie on this one here, but I think he's done pretty well getting the ball downfield. Now, there's also been some passes that hit the defender's hands. I think we have like 3 dropped interceptions within the past, 3 interceptions in the past, 4 games? I know Green Bay had like at least 2 or 3. And I know it was something happened last year either. But, I really don't want to rag on him too tough about last year. I just don't want to rag on him at all. But what I saw last year is kind of what I'm seeing this year. And to be quite honest, the numbers are so similar to the point where I thought the numbers would be better with more, pass catchers. But when you get sacked 16 times, like I said, it's all collectively to a point where we're going to find out what type of quarterback he is, because if you don't get any protection, that could kill a quarterback's confidence. I think one of the only quarterbacks I've seen that actually bounce back like that was like an Alex Smith. And what was Alex Smith? An above average quarterback. Maybe good to solid. but he ended up being just above average quarterback. He wasn't an elite quarterback. He was above average. If he was good or like really good or above good, it wouldn't have, Patrick Mahomes wouldn't have never been a Chief. I'm gonna get out of here, man. Let me know what you guys think, man. I think I said my piece. If you like it, I get it. If you dislike it, I understand either way. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Desmond Ridder is going to be that guy who can elevate? Are we seeing another really good and solid quarterback? Are we seeing a average to below average quarterback? What do we see here? Because like I said, after these 8 games and the 13 games he was actually able to study, I don't think it's a knock on him. I'm not saying that he's trash, but I think what we see is what we got. And if anything, it may get slightly better. I think right now he's at 62% completion percentage. He may bump that up to 66. Michael Jordan don't agree with me. He jumped out of here. I'm going to have to fix that because I like Michael Jordan next to Kobe right here if you're watching on the screen. But Mike always end up falling. Guess Mike don't agree with me. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think. I can be found on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, also YouTube and Rumble. It's going to be interesting, the feedback I get here. I really want to know you guys' thoughts. I'm going to get up out of here. I can be found on X, at VLBaller, and the website is firstandframerage.com. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all take it easy, and y'all be blessed. Peace.